Hey folks, bet you didn't know I could crow like that, did you? Well, there's a backstory behind this. My little rooster buddy sitting over here on my right, and for those of you looking at your hands, it would be the left side of the screen as you're looking at it. Well, he had kind of a late night with some of the hens, so we just sat in for him. But the reason I'm here today is for Monday night, live with Two Family Homestead. Their special guest will be Farm Alarm. You'll get to meet Tracy and Ashley, and they'll probably talk about Henry, but it's my understanding he's going to be terrorizing Grandma and not be on the live show. So be sure to tune in Monday night and meet Farm Alarm. I'll put a card to their channel up here in the corner. It'll be my left, upper right hand corner for you looking at it. And go check them out. Better check out a few of the videos because we'll have the trivia again. So don't forget, Monday night, 9 o'clock, the video starts. The stream will start at 8:57. Short promo, get a chance to jump in, sit down, say hello to everybody in the room. And we will see you at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday evening. And don't forget, we got a heck of a lineup coming up for you. Just watch the credits following. Bye now. No.
Am I live?
You're live.
I'm live.
You're live.
It's scary. And I just lost my screen. Guys, give me a minute. I just hit the wrong button. Where am I? Restore chat. There we go. Okay. That was a good send-off. Gonna get this popped out. We have a great show tonight. We have Farm Alarm -1, and since they're -1, we added one here. So this is our 7-year-old granddaughter Kaylee. She's with us for the week. So I have been trying to explain to her how this all works, and she's just totally confused. So TJ Workshop is in the house. Grizz. Oh yeah, you gotta make sure that Wi-Fi gets out there, Grizz. And we'll water along with you. Hey, Mrs. Soap Peddler, how you doing? We need to have you as a guest one evening. Peddle some soap. You noticed, huh? I left it on a tad too long. Hi, Heather. Got another Buckeye in the group. It's 9:01, dear.
9:01?
9:01. Time to rock and roll.
I think it's time to rock and roll, huh?
Yes, sir.
Well, let's do it then. Farm Alarm, you're live.
Hello.
Hello, everybody.
So,
how are you guys?
We're doing real well. How's yourself?
We're doing good, thank you.
Great. So, how's the weather been out there in Missouri?
You know, we can't complain. It has been pretty hot for a while. actually been off and on raining. And kind of funny, about a week or so ago, I had called my grandma and grandpa who lived about a half a mile away from us, and we just lived right off of their farm. And they didn't answer, so I left a message on their answering machine and requesting rain every other day for a while. And anyways, right after that, because we were in a drought really, and right after that, it just started raining. And so it's been raining off and on. And today we got a nice little shower, so we're excited about rain.
Well, good. Makes the garden grow. And the weeds.
Yes.
And so, well, let's talk about gardens for a little bit. You have kind of a unique greenhouse. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. We are we're new to greenhouses, and within just this year, actually last year we set the frame up, and it's actually made out of a carport, a 20 by 20 carport frame that we had got from Tri-State Carports, and it was a used frame, so we didn't give a whole lot of money for it. And we had looked at making our own hoop house, and we were going to buy top rail from a fencing company, and make a bender and go through all that. And I mean, we just looked at making greenhouses from everything we could, and it seemed like this was the cheapest and easiest, and it's going to be around a while. We probably could have got off a little cheaper by doing wood structure or maybe even PVC pipe, but this carport is going to be around for a while. So like I said, it's a 20 by 20, and we are actually using a double layer system. So it's got 2 layers of plastic, and with a little blower motor inflating it in between. And really depends on the temperature outside, how much the plastic expands. But in some places, it's like 2 foot expanded whenever it gets really hot. But what that's going to do is that's going to be an insulation barrier from whether it's cold outside or hot outside, and it will help regulate that temperature on the inside. But we're just having a great time in the greenhouse. Right now, we're actually growing more in the greenhouse successfully than we are outside in the garden. Other than weeds, if weeds counted, we definitely know what the terminology "it grows like a weed" means.
Well, sounds very interesting, and it's very smart. I think the way you design that greenhouse with the double plastic like that.
Yeah, and that's really going to help out in the wintertime. Our current living situation, we eventually plan on building a house or a shop house, but our current living situation, we have a wood furnace, and so we built that greenhouse kind of butted up right against our living quarters, and we are going to plumb in some of that heat from that wood furnace this winter time. And it's not really going to take a whole lot of heat with that double layer, because it's not going to let all that heat just escape through one layer of plastic.
Are you going to go to the extreme and build double doors to go in and out, like an airlock type thing?
Well, today we've got maybe 36-inch door on it or something like that, which I thought would be good enough for a wheelbarrow, except we don't own a wheelbarrow. And
we own trailers. Everything we own is trailers, and you can't pull a trailer in there because it's too wide.
And we needed to tonight. So we grow in tubs. If anybody's familiar with our channel and seen the greenhouse, we grow in what's called molasses lick tubs. And we had 2 beds or 2 tubs full of a lettuce that was going to bolt, and it was just getting real bitter. So we dug all that up this evening and backed we got a little John Deere wagon that our neighbor gave us, and we backed that up with the lawnmower. And just like you said, double doors, we pulled it right up to the back or to the greenhouse. And I thought, man, if this was double doors, we'd go right in there.
Otherwise, you're shoveling it out into where you want it and making more work for yourself.
Yep.
Well, who does all the greenhouse work? Which one of you two?
Henry. It's a team effort.
Yeah, I usually go out there and I open it up for the day, get it ready to go when I go let the chickens out. And then if there's a cucumber or something that needs picked, I kind of just pick it, bring it in with me. And then we're in and out all day, just kind of checking it out. So it's a team effort for sure.
Yeah, Ashley tends to do the morning work and during the day while I'm in town. And then in the evenings, if we need to mix more dirt, we've got a dryer that we've got in there that we've converted to just mixing soil. And so if any of that needs done, I'll go in there, and then of course, then I'll shut it up at night and turn the lights on. We've got some grow lights in there right now that we've been running.
Well, what do you have in the way of an outdoor garden?
Well, we grow in a back to Eden style garden, and it's kind of off and on success with that. It just kind of depends. And whenever we started this year, things were going good, and then it just all of a sudden got hot, no rain. We got into this huge dry spell, and the trouble is with a back to Eden garden, which I could have all the trouble in the world, and I still wouldn't want to go back to a tilled style garden. But there are pros and cons, and one good thing about tilling is you can go in and till up all those weeds. You can't really do that in a back to Eden garden. So once you get a lot of weeds in there, if you get any way behind,
it's a mess.
Weeds can take over, and yeah, it's just not fun. But right now we're growing some cauliflower, a couple different style cucumbers. We've planted.
We got peppers. And okra,
zucchini and tomatoes.
Zucchini and tomatoes, yeah.
Yeah, we really eat a lot of cucumbers around here. Henry loves to eat cucumbers. They seem to do really good, and there's nothing to them. They're just full of water and definitely some nutrients in there, but they're not, they're not really loaded with carbs. So you could just eat on those all day long.
Well, you also have a couple chickens, I understand.
We do, yeah. And speaking of gardens, so. We, with those chickens in the wintertime, we will let those chickens on the garden, and that's basically their home for the wintertime. And we have a Premier One electric poultry net fence, and it's basically in the wintertime we wrap it around the garden, and for just a month or so in that wintertime, we'll also wrap that fence around the blackberries. But those chickens, they'll go in and they'll till up and they'll fertilize. And, since we're not really using the tiller, since we just keep putting wood chips, wood mulch, and straw and hay on our garden, those chickens will go in and kind of mix all that up and then fertilize it as well naturally.
Okay, and how many chickens do you have?
Currently 28, I believe.
27, 28, yeah. Something like that.
We've always had around 30, plus or minus.
We've lost a few here and there.
Yeah, neighbor dog got one of them. And
some predators, I think, got one of our roosters, a rooster that we had for a meat rooster. And then I think maybe some other ones just kind of, it was their time to go, I guess. So.
Well, that happens. But if you've got that many, you certainly either eat a lot of eggs or you maybe sell them.
Usually eggs every morning for breakfast. Henry eats 3 or 4 scrambled eggs every day for breakfast. So he really enjoys those.
Great.
Yep, you can put them down.
Great.
But yeah, there's times where we, Ashley is the egg selling lady, and there's times when she goes to a play group every once a week with Henry and all the other moms there. She's hustling the eggs to them. So there's times that we ran out of eggs.
Here comes the egg lady.
Yep.
Now, are they brown eggs, white eggs, colored eggs?
Yeah, we have mainly brown, different shades of brown. And we have a few birds that lay green eggs. They're also known as Easter eggers or olive eggers.
Right.
And there are a couple different shades. And then we have some white eggs as well. We have 4 or 5 hens that lay those. So we have quite a good variety of eggs.
When we first got started in chickens, we have my cousin who lives up the street from up the road from us, and he said, let's see, he asked us if we wanted to get into chickens, and we said sure. And he said that there was a Mennonite place that he knew of that got rid of their birds after I believe it was 1.5 or 2 years, right after, probably 2 years, right after they got out of their heightened stage of production. They got rid of their birds and got new birds, and they sold them for 25 cents a piece. And I thought, man, how can I go wrong with that? We're gonna get these birds and we're gonna feed them good food. And I tell you what, those were the nastiest birds ever.
They were missing feathers. I mean, they were awful
they were
looking.
So nasty. And it's really funny because we have like 4 of them left, and
they look so much better.
Oh yeah. I think that they actually were in a cage their entire life. They couldn't move, and that's horrible. That's a miserable life for a chicken. You know, their waste was it was liquid. I mean, I believe they were probably even fed a liquid diet. You know, here's all your nutrients. So their health just wasn't very good. So I guess you could say we rescued them, and but we ended up selling a lot of those chickens off, and that they still produce about an egg a day for us, which is really crazy. But I'm not sure why this place wanted to get rid of them. You know that's the thing. Whenever you go to feed your birds, all of this, I don't know what they fed them at the lot. I shouldn't assume what they're feeding them, but I know that they're not feeding them as healthy as possible. But we're feeding these birds as healthy as we can right now, and you know they're probably knocking on 4-year-old birds, and they're still pumping out an egg a day for us, and that's pretty good.
Well, we have a nephew of yours in the chat.
Yes, I'm sure he's in there. I've got a couple of nephews. Yeah.
And then my little brother's in there too.
Yep.
Oh, which one is your little brother?
Well, his name is Jeff Gaming, but
Oh,
he
okay.
messed up his YouTube, and now he has to go by that. But that's not really his name. His name is Colin.
Okay.
But he was having some issues changing his name.
Oh,
so.
yeah. I saw that name come in earlier. And I know Grizz asked a question. How much chicken feed do you go through a month or a week?
Man, all right. So I am horrible about remembering numbers. I love calculating things. I love keeping records of and doing the math. But I'm horrible of remembering numbers off the top of my head. And I was actually thinking about that today. I wanted to see the money that we got coming in per month. And I know that we're covering our food costs for them. But we usually go to Orscheln's. What we're buying, whenever we first started raising chickens, we just bought some regular Orscheln's feed. And before we started researching, you know, what's better for them. As of currently, what we're feeding them is Nature Wise. That's part of their ration, and it's a just a all natural feed substitute or feed. And again, it does come from Orscheln's. I believe it's all vegetarian, and so there's no animal byproducts in it. And that's one thing that I was looking for, and that our customers were looking for as well. And one of the cool things, it has a marigold extract in it. We are actually going to be growing some marigolds to feed them, which will help out with their digestive tract, and it really makes a real rich yolk. But what we do is we usually go by 5 40-pound bags at a time, and
like I kind of fill up their bucket maybe every couple of days.
It really kind of depends, I guess. We'll have to give a good answer to that on one of our videos, but I think the way it calculated out for money wise, we're selling eggs for about $3 a dozen, which, you know, some people might think that's kind of expensive. There's one guy I was talking to, he said he was going to sell eggs for $1 a dozen. I don't know how he's going to do that. But maybe he's just going to take a loss on them. But I was figuring we're in the egg costs about $2 a dozen is our cost. So really, at $3 a dozen, you're not making anything, especially if
No.
some of your eggs.
So Dale and Crystal have asked, and you've maybe kind of answered, but I'll let you repeat it if you need to. Are your chickens free range?
Well,
there was one time they were.
Yeah.
They would run around, and then the garden season kind of came along, and we decided we were going to give them a pretty big area to stay in so they wouldn't get our blackberries, because those usually start to harvest around this time. And then our garden, we didn't want them in the garden once seeds were planted.
Yeah, so right now we're keeping them in in that poultry net fence, that electric poultry fence, and it's huge. You know, there's constant green grass. So that's one thing. You know, when we first started, there was we had a small chicken run, and of course, anybody with a small chicken run knows there's no such thing as grass in your chicken run. And what that, you know, they need that grass to be able to forage and all that. Well, their current situation is so big, it's all grass. I'm going to even have to go in and mow it. So much grass. one thing we could be doing is put that fence around the garden and the blackberries and let them free range. But after the neighbor dog got out, this kind of wasn't up on that. And also, we thought with this poultry net fence, move it around. The last time around, noticed there was a ton of holes in the yard because they love to make a dust bath for themselves. So if you're going to turn a place back into your yard, I don't suggest having chickens on that spot unless you're going to.
Okay. Any other animals? Any other livestock?
We have 3 cats, just some farm cats hanging around. That's really it. Just the chickens and the cats. We had guineas at one time, but I think we let them outside too soon in the chicken run, and something got a hold of them. So then we had a chicken tractor that we put them in, and I think a raccoon or something got them. And
we would like to get to the dogs, else, but put them in a chicken run.
So, do you have aspirations for goats or sheep or anything like that? Or
I'd like to have a goat. We drink a lot of goat's milk. I drink a lot of goat's milk and goat's yogurt. But so right now, no, we're not going to get a goat because that probably would mean
somebody's got to milk it. And that somebody would be me. Or to milk a cow and chase a toddler around.
But yeah, so I don't know. Probably if we were ever going to get anything, it would be hair sheep. I know Doug and Stacy, they have some hair sheep. They say they're super good animals, and as far as I've researched, they actually probably need less maintenance. As in, you probably don't have to worm them, and it just seemed. Oh, you definitely don't have to shear them. So that would be a plus.
Well, it looks to me like Doug and Stacy's in the room. One of them or both of them. I don't know.
Doug and Stacy. Wanda from Crazy Days is here.
So.
Yeah, they actually one of our cats. Well, they gave us 2 cats. One of them ended up not making it, unfortunately, and we really liked that one. But we have one of them, and
her name is Sassy.
And it's a good cat.
She's a good cat.
We have a dog named Sassy.
We sure do.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we have our livestock are a little bit bigger for dogs. So anyway, so anything else interesting from the are you going to do any farming of any sort as far as raising grain or?
Okay, so we're pretty big for us. We're big into blackberries, and currently we have 5 80-foot rows of Apache blackberries. Oh, and we have 10 fruit trees. And the blackberries, yeah. And our neighbor just gave us some peach trees, probably 15 or 20 of those that we need to replant. So we're with the blackberries, they keep us on our toes. It seems like whenever you start a row of blackberries, the first year or so, they'll take a lot more work. You'll have to definitely straw them or hay them, or wood mulch them. We don't really like to wood mulch them just because of the new shoots. I don't think pop through as good as they do if you have straw or hay on it. But whenever your rows start to get really full of canes or plants, that's going to really shield out a lot more of those weeds. So those first few years, when we got into blackberry growing, it was a lot more work because we were always out there weeding. But right now it's like good luck weeds because there's so many blackberries, and when we do get a weed, it's like, okay, it's 3 or 4 foot tall. We'll just pull it out of the ground and go from there. But on a younger or an immature blackberry row, your blackberry plants can't grow because all those weeds. But it's kind of once it gets good and established, it kind of flips, and the weeds don't get to grow because the plants are choking them out. But the worst part about blackberry farming, especially what we do, is we don't really have the best way to sell them. We haven't had a good outlet, but we've contacted a few places. We're trying to maybe wholesale them to some restaurants, stuff like that. Other than that, it's just farmers market style and advertising.
Okay. Well,
But, yeah.
let me open a door that you presented me a little bit, and I'm just going to let you run with this. But you stated something about talking about health problems with today's food.
Yeah, so, it's almost like the food that we as Americans eat is almost a lie. The food that they sell us in the grocery store is not really fit to eat. And I guess everybody can get their tinfoil hats on, but, I've been plagued with some health problems over the last few years since about 2013. I've had stomach issues, and I used to eat just the worst things. I mean, all the good stuff, right? The Oreos, and the chocolate milk, and the honey mustard and pretzels.
Yeah, McDonald's every day. And
oh, absolutely, yeah. And I'm not coming down on anybody. If that's what you eat, that's what you eat. And it's, anybody's life, you could do what you want. Just for me, I've been forced to change my diet. I've had, like I said, a lot of stomach issues and intestine issues since then. So right now I'm around 200 pounds. Back in 2013, I was 300 pounds.
Whoa.
So, I was quite the different guy than I am now. And this...
You shaved, right?
Yeah. So that was it. Actually, I have grown my beard out a couple of times before, and I think that's what I'm working on now. I think Doug over at Offer, Doug and Stacy, he's kind of making me jealous because he's got that big beard, and I'm like, man, I just need to get my beard back. But so anyway, back to the health problems. I was forced to change my diet up, and it was slim pickings. And every people that I see that I haven't seen in years are like, whoa, what's going on with you? And you look good and whatever. And I'm thinking, well, thanks, but I didn't choose to do this, and I'm glad that I have lost weight because, I didn't feel good at that point, but it was a forced decision. So it was basically get rid of all the processed food, quit drinking soda, quit eating at the Burger King, and quit eating at the Mexican restaurant that I ate at every day. And, it's just all this stuff that you put in your body is not good for you. And I'm not saying a person can't be sick by eating healthy foods, because we just live in a society that we're plagued with health problems sometimes. But, I at least can't blame it on the soda and the sugar, and because I'm not consumed with that kind of stuff right now. So, when I see people that are battling problems, it's always best to think, well, what can I change, to change up my lifestyle? The definition of insanity is to do something over and over and expect different results. So if we're sick and we're trying to change up our situation, but we're not changing by what we're eating, you can't expect different results. So, anyway, I'm rambling here, but my point is, you've got to watch what you put in your body. And, if you think the mindset, I hear so many people say, well, just a little bit every now and then won't hurt you. And so then I think, okay, well, a little bit of poison, that it just uses the same thing with a different analogy, a little bit of gasoline, drink a little bit of gasoline every now and then ain't going to hurt you. Well, it might not, but why would you do that? So I've had to change my mindset up, and, because I did that for a while. I thought, okay, well, I'll cut back on all this junk meat, but just eat it a little bit. Well, it's best just to get rid of it and get a whole new mindset.
Well, you want to trade seats on?
Yeah, I could probably use a stretch.
All right, yeah, let's do that.
Red trade seats.
All right, there we go. That's better. So, it's what, 9:27?
Yeah.
So, you know what time that is.
I was going to say it's cuckoo time, but that's the wrong channel.
the shed right now. I don't know what they're doing.
Usually,
They're falling down. They must be chasing each other.
usually our dogs are barking and they're quiet.
Okay, folks, it's $2 trivia time. We got some $2 bills. And first one that gets the question right, send us your address in an email, and we will ship that off to you. We do have a couple rules in our little trivia contest. We found we had to do this. You can only win once every 4 weeks. You must be the first person to answer the question correctly in the chat window. And you must send us an email with your address within 48 hours. So having said that, if everybody's ready, here's the first question. What are the names of the 2 roosters at Farm Alarm? Going to find out who's Farm Alarm video fans here that watch and rewatch all their videos. What are the names of the 2 roosters at Farm Alarm?
Cue the Jeopardy music. I was going to say, Kaylee knows it. She likes to watch Jeopardy.
All right.
Excuse me.
Well, we might have stumped everybody.
Captain Crunch and,
Peoria
damn it, I
Dude
can't
got-
remember. No, Peoria Dude, I don't think damn it, I can't remember is not one of the roosters' name. Well, there we go. Wanda, ruin Sylvester.
Tasty and delicious.
Oh, we got some good ones, Heckle and Jekyll. You mean no one's on the internet looking tonight? No, Grizz, I don't think you're even close.
Well,
This is Grizz. He lives in Oregon. He has a long, long beard. Bonnie and Clyde.
KFC
nuggets.
nuggets.
That's cute. I like that. Well, we got a stumper tonight. Chicken and dumplings. Oh, there we go. Late for dinner. That would be 3 roosters, wouldn't it?
Well, Tracy, you're getting some ideas for new names when you get
I
more
guess so.
roosters.
Oh, Christmas and Thanksgiving were
Well.
wholesome roots. Turkey's name.
well,
I guess Christmas and the
Well-
question is, what are their 2 roosters' names? Nobody knows it yet.
Well,
Well, Peoria Dude got close. He got one of them.
yes, he did. Maybe we should send him $1.
well, well.
Way up there. Smoked and baked.
Okay, well, let's just kind of move on here. And what, shall we declare Peoria Dude the winner?
I think so. I think
Peoria Dude, we're gonna, because you're half right. There it is. He got it. He must have gone
Nice.
and
He
looked.
did. He sure. I bet you he sure did.
Well,
Okay, Captain Crunch and
Jerry signed.
Jerry Seinfeld. So Peoria Dude, you are the winner. Send us your email, twofamilyhomestead@gmail.com. Send us an email with your address, and we'll stuff one of these into an envelope and send it your way. After all, everyone can use a couple
See,
bucks.
you had to go back to the video and look.
All right. So we'll come back here and continue on, if you would.
Any more questions? Foghorn and Leghorn. I like that cartoon. It shows my age is all that does.
Hello to everybody who said hi while I was cheating. I don't think that's cheating.
No.
Okay. Tracy and Ashley, you folks, did you grow up in the country?
No, I lived in town my whole life. So when I moved out here, it was quite a change to get used to things, but I wouldn't change it.
I actually lived out in this area probably till I was 9 years old. And my grandfather's farm here, probably over a few hundred acres. And so I was raised here, like I said, till I was 9 years old. And then we moved to a small farming community till I graduated high school. And there was less than 1,000 people there. And so, it really wasn't a city. It was definitely almost like the country, except you did have some neighbors. And it was just big enough to have a school. That school was K through 12. I don't think there's a whole lot of those around. But
I grew up in a town with 8,000 people. So you have 4 different schools. You have kindergarten, first and second, then you've got 3rd through 5th, then you've got the middle school, then you've got the high school. So there was quite a bit more people from where I was from than where he went to school.
And really, 8,000 people. A lot of people would say, "Wow, that's nothing." That's country living right there. But at one point, I ended up moving to the town probably back in 2008, and I lived there for till 2013, and then it was it was the same town where there was about 8,000 to 10,000 people, and that's just the population of the town. Of course, with the community around it, there's a lot more people, but it was neighbors wall to wall, and just something hit us where we're like, man, we want to get out of here. And of course, it's not St. Louis, it's not Kansas City, it's not big city living like that, but it was still, to us, it was city living.
We lived right next to a school. So there was traffic in and out of there all the time, and right in the middle of town almost. So it was pretty much like the city. And,
when you go to Walmart, nobody says hi to you. And it's not so bad here at our small town, but, just what my point is, what I'm getting at is nobody's friendly anymore. So it's like, man, when I lived out in the country, you're driving down the road and you wave. Everybody waves back at you. And when you're looking out the window and you're driving by, somebody's mowing their yard, they look and you wave at each other. And that's what we were missing. We were missing that interaction with fellow people. Just nobody is into that anymore. Everybody's into this, excuse me, I'm on my phone. And
yep.
And so we wanted to get back to, being able to grow a garden and around family and just have a good time, with getting back to our roots and be able to do things for ourselves instead of just, living the city life and relying on Walmart to get us through our life.
Yeah, Walmart has definitely affected everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least was in the United States. I don't know about other countries, but I'm not the world traveler. But they have definitely done that. Let me ask you, Tracy, what is your profession?
Well, let's see, where do I start? Professional about everything. No, just kidding. I actually tint windows, automotive window tinting, and commercial and residential window tinting. And I've been doing that since about 2001. And I worked for a company until early 2005. Quit that company, and that was in a city with about 100,000 people. I always made the commute, and so left that job and started up my own shop and in town. And so right now we own a window tint business, and it's super awesome to be an entrepreneur, to be able to make a living for yourself instead of having to go hit that time clock every day.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand that. I did a lot of the time clock, but I was advanced enough that time clock wasn't watched per se. In other words, I didn't have to punch the clock, but had the office job.
Yeah.
And but I was on call for 24/7 for what, 20 years or more.
Mm-hmm.
So that was it's a long time. Anyway, any hobbies?
Well, man, I love hobbies. We used to do a lot more expensive hobbies than we do now. You know, a lot right now we're trying to get back to simple living. We have tractors and we like working on stuff like that. We fly drones.
You have a toddler.
That's a good time.
They have a toddler. That's their hobby.
Yeah, he keeps us busy. But you know, we used to be, excuse me, we used to be real big into truck and tractor pulling. I'm sure everybody here knows what that is. But well, I guess as I was growing up, I was into pedal pulling. And so if you're not sure what a tractor pull is, you have a tractor and you have a weight transfer sled and you go 300 foot down the track and it gets harder and harder as you go down. And so as a kid, my dad was always big into tractor pulling. And of course, he got me into pedal pulling, and that's a pedal tractor, you know, just like any kid's toy that, you know, pedal powered. And that would always be at the fairs and stuff. So I'd say that's probably where it started in my blood at that point. And then after that, I got into lawnmower pulling, and I always souped up lawnmowers. And so after that, I finally, in 2005, I got into truck pulling. And, you know, we were just way too consumed with that. But it was fun for a while till it got expensive. And then, you know, once it got expensive, it takes all the fun out of it. You know, I had more fun going truck pulling and braking every weekend than when we put so much money into it and where it wouldn't break and it was doing really good. It just didn't get fun anymore, and it was consuming our lives way too much. So we got rid of that. And Ashley actually has a pulling tractor that we don't really ever use. We might hit a tractor pull or two that's local, but you know, it's not something we want to be consumed in really anymore. But it can be fun.
Hey, Dale and Crystal have asked, what do you do with your chickens in the winter?
Well, we asked them if they need a sweater. No, we really not much different. You know, they live in that 10 by 16 Dirksen building. That's just like a portable building on skids, and you know, it's partitioned halfway off. We don't heat it, and we give them extra light. You know, that'd be about the only thing different. And we might have to heat the water up or something like that, but they lay all year round. My grandma, just down the road, her chickens don't really lay all year round, but she's not giving them a whole lot of extra light. And, you know, they do get cold, but whenever you got them in a location like that, as long as they could stay bunched up together, you know, they're going to retain that body heat. That's what they got feathers for. But just giving them that extra light because the days are shorter really keeps our birds in egg production.
Okay, and homesteading with the Cases have asked, what is your favorite part of homesteading?
All the hard work.
Well, that's your favorite?
I think
we need them to vacation here.
Oh, yeah. Come on
I think
over.
raising a kid on the farm is a good experience because you get to teach him where the food comes from and just letting them get dirty and watching them learn and ask questions, and then knowing where your food comes from too. That's always a good part. You know you grew this food yourself, so you know that it's okay to eat.
Yeah, and probably right along with that, you know, just the knowledge of where things come from, you know, really is a good thing for us. And one of our favorite things about homesteading, you know, let's take it back, like she said, to Henry, you know, as he's growing up, he's always going to know that a hamburger doesn't come from Walmart. He's going to know that it comes from a cow, and that meat is ground up, and you know, it was a muscle on that animal. And you know, he's going to know all those details where, you know, some kids today, I mean, I don't know if kids don't know this, but some kids might just think, well, don't they make that at Walmart?
Yeah, it's back in the storage room. Well, let's go manufacture some more. So, okay.
But really, just to honestly answer that question, my favorite part is the reward of being able to harvest your food. That's my favorite part.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with that. Very nice. Let's talk about your sporting goods hobby, your shooting and so forth.
Oh, okay. Well, if you've seen one of our latest videos, we'll leave a link right here. And, so Ashley was shooting her 380. It's a Ruger LCP, and we put some what's called Talon grips. It's kind of like grip tape. It's such a small gun, and it's hard to hold on to, but we both enjoy shooting pistols and rifles. And
it's kind of a nice just like get away and kind of ease your mind a little bit, you know, and get away from work for a little bit just to kind of have a little fun.
Sure.
Shooting.
Sure. Do you hunt?
Yes, we deer hunt. That's the main thing we hunt is deer.
Fish?
And we fish.
Ashley really loves fishing.
I like it. Even if I'm not catching anything, I love just casting out and reeling back in. It's just fun to me. Even if I don't catch anything.
Just relaxing.
I'm the opposite. You know, you've seen those bumper stickers that say a bad day of fishing is better than a good day of working. If I'm not catching a fish, I am not having fun.
And he's ready to go back and come home.
Yeah.
I can appreciate that. It's okay for a while, but it grows old quick. Well, folks, anybody else have any other questions or interject into the chat here a little bit? They kind of pretty well stumped most everybody in the room on their question. Maybe you can stump them.
Have any questions? No.
What percentage would you say of the food that you raise is in your household budget or your
Not
house?
enough.
Not enough. Okay,
Not enough.
30%, 25%, 40%.
I think the most food we get is blackberries.
Yeah.
And eggs.
I guess I can't really put a number to that. You know, we eat a lot of salad, and we grow a lot of kale, and you know, okay, so I guess we probably eat a lot more of our own food than I realize. So maybe half.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I know Danny and Wanda are probably right up in the 90-95% bracket, probably with them. And I think they're about the highest I know of.
That's awesome.
So, anything? What do you two do for fun? For getting away? For just something to just? Oh, I got to do something besides weed the garden today.
We usually sit around and watch YouTube. We don't do much. We don't really like go on date nights per se or anything like that. And if we go anywhere, it's usually to town to go to Walmart or somewhere to get stuff we need. And then we usually leave Henry with Grandma and get a little bit of a break.
Well, I know you guys visited Doug and Stacy.
We did
do that. That was a family affair. Yeah. Yep.
Now, do you have aspirations to go to any of the Mother Earth News Fairs or conferences or anything like that? Baker Creek festivals?
He doesn't like to travel.
Yeah, that's my problem. I hate going places, and I don't really know why. I think when I was a kid, we went too many places, long journeys out to Colorado like twice in a month, and I just got burnt out on driving. But we did go to that Baker Creek Seed Festival. That was really fun. There's a place, an old-timey type event like that happens real close to our house every September that we go to. I don't know about the Mother Earth News Fair. That seems like that could be pretty far away.
Go ahead.
Oh, Big Lady wants to know if you plan to raise honeybees.
I would really like to. Our neighbor that lives
pretty much
eighth of a mile away.
Just Across from
quarter
us.
mile away. They just got into honeybee raising this year, and they asked us if we've seen a lot of bees over here. And this spring we sure did see a lot of bees. So I don't know how their bee production is holding up. Hopefully they're not having any die off, but yeah, I really don't know since they have bees. That's going to help us out, and that's just one more thing to do right now. If I didn't have to go to town every day, and not every day, I don't really have to go to town every day. I guess it depends what season it is, because my job is really seasonal. Right now, in the heat of the day, or in the heat of the year, I'm super busy with tinting windows. But if I didn't have to go to town every day, we'd probably take on a few more things like bees and maybe some hair sheep.
Okay. Well, it's about that time again.
It's about that time.
All right, here we go. Okay, run over the rules one more time. You can only win once every 4 weeks. You must be the first person to answer the question correctly in the chat window. And you must send us an email with your address within 48 hours. And send that to twofamilyhomestead@gmail.com. So question number 2 for tonight. What are the type of exotic cucumbers that are grown in the greenhouse at Farm Alarm? Now, he's talked about them a little bit earlier tonight. He didn't mention any names, but they eat a lot of cucumbers.
Nice try.
Well, let's see.
All sorts. Isn't the U.S. dollar still worth more in Canada? I know that time we went.
Yeah, I don't know if it is or not, but this is
printed this morning.
Printed this morning. Somebody's note.
Kaylee's picture's on it.
Kaylee, is this you?
No.
Okay. Oh, Peoria dude is not able to win this one.
Not me.
I would say Diana Lucas got it, not spelled correctly, but I'd say she was going there.
It's okay.
Okay. And unfortunately, I was... Yes.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay, Diana Lucas, if you would, please email us. Give us your address. Send an email to twofamilyhomestead@gmail.com. If you go by some other name on your email, make sure that we know that it's associated with Diana Lucas. And Peoria dude, you're the same way. If you send us an email with George Smith as your name, tell us you're Peoria dude so we know that. Okay. Let me get this. Okay, hon. Go ahead. You talk for a minute here.
Why am I talking for a minute?
Because you have Kaylee beside you.
Kaylee doesn't want to talk. This is our 7-year-old granddaughter. Her sister is with my older son and his wife and their 12-year-old daughter. They are going to no, she won't be 13 till September, to a local college here, Ohio State University, the branch. They have kids camp every year. So they're going together to that. And since both her dad and Cassie, his significant other, work third shift, she just started back to work. We get Kaylee for the week. So we're going to be doing crafts and
Baking.
baking and
Making dog treats.
making dog treats. What else?
Paint our aprons and stones.
Painting our aprons and painting stones. And what are we going to do with this machine back here? Yes, you do. We're going to make jellies and jams. Right? Mixed berry. Is that what you said last night?
Yeah. The strawberry, blackberry, and raspberry.
Strawberry, blackberry, and raspberry. Yes. So I'll be ready for her to go home on Friday because I'll be exhausted. See what you get to look forward to?
So anyway, let me ask you, who got you started in drones?
Well,
We watched some videos on YouTube that had some drone footage, and he's like, "Man, that would be cool to do that." And so that's kind of what got us started. And then we bought a few here and there to kind of play with, and then he's like, "Okay, we got to do something better because this isn't working."
yeah, our first drone, it didn't fly itself. You had to know how to fly it. And it was probably like a $70 drone. And man, I crashed it a number of times. And the first night I brought it home, I told Ashley, I said, "Man, check this thing out. I'm able to fly this. This is so awesome." And it was nighttime. And I took it up and I knew how to fly it kind of. And the thing just like took off. And the wind took it. And it flew, I don't know, a quarter mile, half mile away and crashed in our neighbor's woods. And so I had to go knock on their door at like 9 o'clock at night saying, "Hey, I lost my drone over in your yard here," which is a really weird conversation to have. And so I got that back. And like Ashley said, we eventually outgrew that thing, because I had to get really good at flying it because I was using it for some of our earlier videos and attaching a GoPro camera to it. And it just, like I said, you had to fly it. It didn't stay still. And so I had to fly it, where it wasn't, where it was really steady. And eventually we got into the drones that we've got now.
Well, I know that you rebuilt one and painted it pink.
And I have not flown it since he has painted it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know why. I guess I'm afraid I'm going to crash it, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's one of those ones where you have to know how to fly it. Eventually so I guess let me get off on a rabbit trail here. You had said, what do we do for a living? And it's not just window tinting. We're what you would call an entrepreneur. We're whatever it takes to make the money, right? So as far as drones go, we ended up becoming a DJI dealer, and so we sell drones, and we buy these drones and we take them apart, and we actually sell the parts off of them and make more money doing it that way. So that's how we kind of got into the better drones. I was like, well, how can I justify buying a good drone? And so instead of having to spend all that money, we became a dealer, was able to get it a little bit cheaper. And then plus, we bought, I don't know, tens of drones, a lot of drones, and just started selling them and selling the parts off of them. So really the drone hobby has become free for us because we've, sold enough to justify to have one for sure.
So as a dealer, have you gotten to see this new smaller drone that
The
DJ?
Spark. I think
Yes.
it's called Spark. I've watched some videos on it. It doesn't look too impressive to me. I think the one that would be the one to have for the everyday person would be what's called the Mavic or the Mavic Pro. It's collapsible, so it's real portable, which would be a huge benefit. Where ours, you have to have a case for it, and if you want to keep it protected, you got a case, and that thing's bulky. And that small Mavic one would be way easier.
Yeah, it's like carrying around a cooler.
Yeah, for sure. And there's no water, no ice water in it.
Well, I know that you You do use the drone in a lot of your footage, and you also have a knack for editing. So
yeah, and I enjoy doing all that. I enjoy putting the videos together. I'm really trying to get Ashley on board with learning how to do the editing, so it takes a little bit there, and we would be able to get the videos done a lot faster, I believe. But she does help out with videoing, and I love getting her in the videos too, because people are probably tired of looking at my ugly face all the time. So got to get the good looking one in there.
Don't make me blush.
So you don't edit any of the videos, Ashley?
No, I don't.
What program is your program of choice for your editing?
Well, when we got started, we used Windows Movie Maker, and I knew how to run that from years ago. Whenever we did the truck and tractor pulling, because we always videoed all those truck pulls, and so when we got into the Homestead YouTube thing, we were still using the Windows Movie Maker, and very fast outgrew that program. I mean, it was just, your computer was so laggy with it. Even with a brand new computer, it just a horrible program really when you're trying to do a lot of stuff. And so right now we're using a paid version of Filmora. I believe you can get it for free, but it probably, I don't know much about. I think we had the free version, but I think it says sample, like a watermark over the video or something. So I think they force you to pretty much buy it.
Pretty much. Most of them are like that, I think.
Yeah, but we love that program. You know, I also have Adobe Premiere Pro. I would say that I'm a Photoshop wizard. You know, I'm really good at Photoshop, but I cannot figure out Adobe Premiere Pro for editing video. I couldn't get the hang of it. But that if anybody is trying to get into doing the YouTube thing and they're having problems with that Windows Movie Maker, you would adapt really easy into Filmora.
We use Filmora on 98% of our videos.
Yeah.
I do a little bit with Power Director, but for the most part, it's Filmora.
Cool.
Well, do we have any other questions? Just checking here to see that I'm not leaving anybody out. Every Monday teaser. I don't know what that is.
Oh, they were talking about chat.
Oh. So do you have any questions there from Farm Alarm you'd like to ask us?
Oh, Mountain Mama wants to know if you bake.
Well, I have baked some things in the past. I never was a cooker originally. When we first met, I hated cooking. I hated anything that had to do with cooking. But since I became a stay-at-home mom, it's what I do is cook all the time. And I've grown to like leftovers because I don't want to cook so much. But occasionally I'll make dessert, nothing special. I did make a pie crust from scratch, and it turned out really good. I followed a family recipe. So it's fun. It's just to find the time to do it, really.
Yeah, I follow family recipe too. Pillsbury Doughboy and I are buddies. I never could, even my mother's recipe, I never could make a pie crust. Still can't to this day.
All Sorts has asked a question here.
It'll be lady, real cake. Yeah, I hear you. October.
The Farm Alarm family, do you do fermented foods?
We eat a lot of sauerkraut, almost on a daily basis, and we're going to try to get into making a lot of sauerkraut this year, and maybe some fermented pickles. Man, you know, you had mentioned when we went up and visited off-grid with Doug and Stacy, she prepared a lunch for us, and it was super good. But it was really,
taco night when we went.
Always taco.
That's right. I saw that.
And when we got there, you know, she during the meal she had made some fermented carrots, and I'm telling you, that was super good. So
I didn't get to try any. I guess I didn't think about it.
maybe I ate all of them, I guess.
Well, Wholesome Roots has a video out for making pickles. And I think it was in the last week or two, and I think she's already left. But in fact, I think I still have the video up in one of these 20 tabs on my computer that seem very easy. You don't boil the brine. You put it over the pickles cool. And she said they turn out every time. So every time I have made any pickles, they turn to mush. So I'm going to definitely try her recipe.
Yeah, we want to try a lot more fermented stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, right now we've always canned foods and gone that route, but probably get into that fermenting just because, you know, there's beneficial bacteria there that, you know, is good for your gut.
Well, I have the jars that Doug and Stacy had that. They have that link that if you go to that one site.
Mason tops.
The Mason tops, yes. Still haven't used them, but I do have them when I get ready to do it. Because I want to make my own sauerkraut.
Yeah.
I see Fanny learned how to swear from her mom when she learned how to make pie crusts. I learned French from my mother. At least that's what she told me it was.
Peoria Dude has asked, and I think we kind of touched on this a little bit, what livestock do you hope to add in the future?
Other than the chickens, well, okay, so I guess there was other things that we would like to have some meat birds. I keep saying that. So the, you know, our pork that we talked about earlier, greenhouse, we actually have 2 more frames. We have 2 18 by 20 frames. I want to put those together to make another greenhouse and house meat.
Breaking up.
Tracy, I have lost you.
Can you hear us now?
Now
Yes.
I can hear you.
Okay. And so I'm not sure where you lost me at, but you know, we've got a couple more of those carport frames. We're gonna put them together and make a really large greenhouse. And we're going to our plan is to get some meat birds and house and raise meat birds inside the greenhouse there.
And I see Grizz is complaining about doing the weeding.
It's hard on the back. Yeah, tell me about it.
Okay. Well, it's a little after 10.
Yes, it is.
Is there anybody in the chat here have any more questions here for Tracy and Ashley?
You know, there's one thing that I see a lot of the YouTube homestead channels doing is putting out videos how to make money as a homesteader. And, you know, I come from an entrepreneurship background. My grandpa on my mom's side owned a grocery store in that small town that I grew up in. And so my entire life, always owned the grocery store. And so I basically grew up in this grocery store working there, and it seems like all my family did as well. And so that kind of, you know, I guess that gave me an entrepreneurship heart. So as I was growing up, my grandfather was teaching me business, and, you know, he wasn't really saying, here's how you run a business. You know, it was just me observing and watching how a business is run. And so I was learning this business, and I kind of realized that it's not just, you know, having one job. It's whatever it takes to make that money. So, you know, if you can buy a car, you know, say you're on Craigslist and you buy a car for $500, you know, somebody's trying to get rid of, and you could flip it for $1,000. Just doing things like that all the time. I think a few weeks ago, my little brother-in-law had asked me, So it wasn't just an answer.
Lost him again.
Yeah, when you just said my little brother-in-law, it just went away.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, he had asked, what do you do for a living? And it wasn't just one answer. It was, this, this, and this, and this. And it's always been that my entire life. And it's however it is to make that income for the family. So, if you can buy something, if I can encourage anybody to make money on the homestead, as the question is, if you could buy something that's worth more than you paid for it, turn around and make some money that way.
Your brother wants you to stay longer. Did you see that?
Stay longer. Yeah, he's been coming out a lot this summer. He really enjoys getting out of the house and coming out here. And he's in a summer program now, but I think once that's over, he's probably going to stay with us for the rest of the summer.
How old is he?
He is
10.
10.
10.
Yes, 10.
There you go.
So he's at a good age to be able to learn a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And hard worker.
Yeah, they're like sponges.
Yeah, so I asked him the other day, I said, are you going to learn how to mow the yard? And he was like, what? And I said, it's a riding lawnmower. You're just riding around. And,
Yeah, Kaylee's sister is 11, and we taught her how to use the riding lawnmower last year.
Yep.
And she was ready to get on it every day.
I think simple things like that, just growing up in the country, a riding lawnmower teaches you how to drive a car. I think a person that lives in the country that knows how to mow a yard as a kid be a better driver than a city kid that didn't get behind the wheel of a car until they were 15 years old. That's a really crazy concept to me, is not getting behind the wheel until you're 15.
Yeah. Yeah, here's the keys. Go have fun.
Yeah, I remember that I was probably 12 or 13 years old, and my great grandpa, when he was still living, we were farming. I was driving the tractor for the day, and he was doing something else, and he was tired, so he said, "Get in the truck, the driver's seat," and I would drive him down the highway as a kid.
Okay, well, it looks like things have slowed down here a little bit. You have anything you'd like to add, Tracy and Ashley?
It's okay.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I say, you have anything, any wise words you'd like to throw in here before we wrap things up?
Well, no, I don't know. I don't really have much. I just appreciate you having us on.
Well, we've certainly enjoyed you being here.
Oh yes, by all means.
And I think everybody in the room enjoyed you being here.
Yeah.
So, and we'll have to do it again sometime.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And it's open to everybody. If anybody here would like to be a guest, let us know. I think we're booked up through almost the end of July. We have the last 2 Mondays open.
Yeah, the last 2 Mondays are still open.
And then August.
So we've got, next week is Julie Dirt Patch Haven.
Oh, cool.
That should be a good show. And then the week after that will be, I can't say her name. Living on a Dime.
Tara.
It twists my tongue somehow when I look at the spelling. But, excuse me. So anyway.
We're also going to have, I think either at the end of July or sometime in August, the Concrete Kid, Mariah.
Oh, is Mariah going to join us?
Yes, she's going to.
That'll be a fun night.
Yes, she would love to be a guest. And on one of my groups on Facebook, he doesn't have anything to do with homesteading, but if you enjoy cooking, and he is a appliance freak for cooking, Cooking with Doug is his channel, and rather large following. He is going to be sometime, I think, in August. He is going to be one of our guests.
Oh, cool. Yeah, we've got a few good things coming up, and we're going to venture out. I'm going to put you two on the spot here just for a moment. I know so far it sort of happened once, but there's going to be a day come when an emergency comes up and the guest that we have scheduled is not going to be able to attend. Would you guys be interested in being a last minute jump on if necessary?
You could always ask, and we would definitely be, if we're available, we would definitely take it.
Sounds great. We want to thank you both for being here. You got anything else?
I don't have a thing.
Keep shooting straight, Ashley.
Okay.
Get that pink drone up in the air.
Yeah, we want to.
I don't know if I'll get it in the air very far.
Yeah, we want to hear about the pink drone.
Yeah, she'd be way better at getting it back to the ground.
Yeah.
Okay, folks. Thank you so much, everybody, for stopping and being here, and we'll be back with you next week. Have a great day, great evening, and a great week, everyone. Take care now.